Welcome and good afternoon. This is Commish Orr, and today it is time for the Baseball Maelstrom POPs League Season 2 All-Star Game. That's right, we're at the All-Star break, and the POPs League is a league using Payoff Pitch Baseball. The league is made up of 4 NL and 4 AL teams. 3 of those teams are made up of Hall of Famers, and 1 of those teams in each league is made up of non-Hall of Famers, great players not in the Hall of Fame. And today we're at the halfway point of our season 2, which the full season is a third of a regular season, so 54 games. And we've chosen All-Stars. You can check out those videos to see the All-Star selection. But we are ready to play this All-Star game. And we are in Detroit. We're playing at Tiger Stadium. That's the 1983 version of Tiger Stadium. As you can see here, it slightly favors left-handed batters in terms of power. And the error ranges and the fielder ranges are fairly average, I think. Roughly. A little bit more errors than hits. On our defense checks. But we are ready to begin, and here are the starting lineups. Starting with the National League All-Stars. In left field, we have, leading off, Tim Raines. Batting second is center fielder Oscar Charleston, Negro League player. Batting third, playing first base is Jeff Bagwell. Batting fourth and DHing today will be Willie Stargell. Batting fifth and in right field is Sammy Sosa. Batting sixth and at third base is Mike Schmidt. Batting seventh, playing shortstop, is Arky Vaughn. Batting eighth at second base is Jackie Robinson. And batting ninth and catching today for the National League All-Stars is Buster Posey. Starting pitcher for the National League will be none other than Sandy Koufax. Let's see what the defense looks like today and the lineups for the American League All-Stars. Leading off for the American League All-Stars will be center fielder Kenny Lofton. Batting second will be third baseman George Brett. Batting third, playing first base, is Dick Allen, who leads the league in home runs. DHing today will be Lou Gehrig. Batting fifth in left field will be Ted Williams. Batting sixth and catching is Mickey Cochran. Batting seventh at shortstop is Lou Boudreau. Nellie Fox will be batting eighth and playing second base. And finally, batting ninth is right fielder Ichiro Suzuki. And pitching today, the starting pitcher for the American League will be Bert Blyleven. So, with all of that said, I have my dice roller down here, my XL dice roller, and we are ready to get things started. As in most All-Star games, I'm going to try to use all the bench players I can. There's 2 players at each position, including DH, and I have 9 pitchers. So, I'm going to use as many. My goal is to use all of them, much like a regular All-Star game. We'll see how things go. Last year's All-Star game saw the American League beat the National League 4-1. 4-1. George Brett had a key home run, I think a 2-run homer in that game, and American League pitching shut down the National League last year, which is kind of surprising. The American League tends to be more offense heavy, and the National League in this in my sim has been very much more pitching heavy. We'll see if that holds today. So, first pitch to Tim Raines by Bert Blyleven. And it's a tough result, and already we have a rare play. Tough 77. We're going to check the rare play chart. Base is empty. Tough 77. Batter strikes out on a great pitch by the pitcher. Catcher drops the ball. Roll a d6. If equal to or less than the catcher's E rating, catcher makes an easy throw to first. This is going to be a 2. I'll look at the next 6-sided die down, and I'm sure that's going to be less than Cochran's E rating, and it is. So Tim Raines Oops. Tim Raines is going to strike out here to lead things off. Drop third strike, but he's still going to be thrown out at first. 2-3. So a strikeout to lead things off for Burt Blyleven. Now facing Oscar Charleston. And Wheelhouse 70. Oh, only a single here. That was dangerous. Left right in the middle of the plate. Charleston drills that one into the outfield for a base hit here. And jump of 6. He is not going to try to take a lead here. He's going to hope that Jeff Bagwell can do something. Jeff Bagwell leading the National League in home runs with 8, I believe. And we have an in-play 7. That's going to be a base hit. That's a double. 4 is double to center field. And I use my own homebrew running chart. My guess is Charleston's going to score on this. Double to center field. First to home, center field with in play 7+, and his run is an 8. So right away, the National League gets on the board here as Bagwell drills a double into the gap, and Charleston scores the first run of the All-Star game. That brings up Willie Stargell. Tough 27, and he strikes him out. Stargell down on strikes here in the first inning. That's 2 down. And the gauntlet of home run hitters continues with Sammy Sosa. Sammy Sosa's obviously not in the Hall of Fame. He's on the Chicago Docs, which is the non-Hall of Fame team. That's tough 53, and that's going to be another strikeout. So Blyleven strikes out the side here in the first inning, but not before the National League scores a run on Jeff Bagwell's double. We head to the bottom of the first. Kenny Lofton facing off against Sandy Koufax. Koufax has been just amazing. He's, I believe, 6-0 with an ERA under 2. Just been a lights out this year. Let's see if he can do just as well against this American League offense. First pitch to Lofton here. That's patient 61. And that's going to be a base hit. Koufax gets behind in the count, and Lofton able to reach base here. And he is going to attempt to steal. He gets the jump. 8 with a hold of 4. 85. Oh, maybe he's not. Maybe he is not. 8-4. He is not. He holds. Does bring up George Brett. Brett hitting over 400 so far early in this season. That is a tough 52. And that's going to be a grounder to third. 8 double play. Koufax does not force hitters into too many double plays. So they're going to get the easy out at second, but not able to turn 2 here, as it is a 5-4 fielder's choice. Oops. Not 5-6. A 5-4 fielder's choice. So Brett replaces Lofton on first base, and he does not try to go anywhere. Brings up Dick Allen. Dick Allen with, I believe, 13 home runs to lead the entire league in homers. Patient 13, and he draws a walk in this case. Koufax showing some uncharacteristic control issues here a little early with a couple patient results. And up steps Lou Gehrig. Koufax trying to limit any damage here this inning. Tough 13, and he strikes out Lou Gehrig. And just like that, Koufax is back in control. 2 down, runners on first and second. He's going to have to get through Ted Williams here to get out of this inning. And another patient result. That's going to be another walk. Williams with a great eye, and that loads the bases up for Mickey Cochran. Koufax into some trouble here in the first. And it's going to be another walk. Koufax only with a couple patient spots on the card, and he is running into those frequently here in the first inning. Koufax, maybe with some all-star game jitters here, walks in a run. And next up is going to be Lou Boudreau. Tough 50, and that will get him out of the inning as Schmidt throws over to Bagwell for the third out, but not before 3 walks lead to a run to tie this game here in the first inning. Blyleven out there for inning 2. I've decided that the starters are going to pitch 2 innings probably. And he faces Mike Schmidt. And that one, again, catches too much of the plate, and that one is deep and out of here as Mike Schmidt hits a leadoff home run here in the second inning. You don't want to leave one over the plate when Mike Schmidt's up to bat. National League is up 2-1. Arky Vaughn steps in. Tough 81, and Vaughn is going to fly this one out to Lofton in center. Lofton, plenty of room. Hauls it in for out number 1. Jackie Robinson. Tough 41. And Robinson dribbles one back to the pitcher. Blyleven, easy throw to first for out number 2. And we're at the number 9 spot in the lineup, Buster Posey. In play 30. And Posey with a 2-out single here. Drills that one into left field. And gets them back to the top of the lineup, Tim Raines. Defense. Here's our first defense check. And this one's hit to Lou Boudreau. A 12, I believe, is going to be an error. And it is. Boudreau not able to come up with it. And the inning continues here. Should have been out number 3, but instead we have runners on first and second, and Oscar Charleston stepping up. Tough 46. Tough 46, and Charleston not with a huge strikeout range for the tough section. That's going to be a base hit. Base hit to right. Posey, though, with really no speed, and on a tough result, I subtract 2 from the running. But that is going to load the bases here. And Jeff Bagwell steps in. It's a Blyleven's going to have to be very, very careful here, as Bagwell, as I mentioned, leads the league in home runs, leads the National League in home runs. And he comes up with the bases loaded, 2 out. Blyleven has struggled these first couple innings. Let's see if he can get out with only a 1-run deficit. Tough 05, and he does. He strikes Bagwell out for out number 3. So a scary inning there for Blyleven, but able to get out of it with only 1 run allowed, and that was that solo shot by Mike Schmidt to lead off the inning. Koufax is going to deal against the bottom of the American League order, starting with Nellie Fox. There's that patient again. And Koufax walks Fox to lead off the second. Koufax not finding the strike zone very easily here in this start. And that will bring up, I better check to see, Fox is not going to try to steal. Ichiro. 4, Ballpark. This is not good for him. And 75 is going to be a wheelhouse 48. Wheelhouse 48, but Ichiro's wheelhouse for left-handed hitters or left-handed pitchers is not very high. So Koufax is going to escape the damage here. In fact, with the 4, that's going to be a double play as it's a comebacker to the pitcher. 1-6-3 double play here. And Koufax erases that runner as Ichiro, who doesn't hit into very many double plays, Koufax, who doesn't allow very many double play or pitch into, get the hitters to hit into very many double plays, but they get one here. And we're back to the top of the order, but nobody on. 2 down. Tough 25, and Lofton strikes out here in the second to end the inning. So the American League cannot respond. And through 2, National League is still up 2-1. And this is where we will start going to our pitchers. Got to bring up the, I forgot to bring up the All-Star game set here. And after Blyleven, we will go to Pedro Martinez, I think, will be the next pitcher. So Pedro Martinez comes in to pitch for the American League. And he will face Stargell, Sosa, and Schmidt. Starting off with Willie Stargell. Pedro Martinez with a great season in 2001, though it was shortened by injury. He only had 18 starts. Tough 57. And Stargell's able to fight off behind in the count. He fights it off for a base hit here in to lead off the third. Stargell with no thoughts of stealing. And up steps Sammy Sosa. Going to be another gauntlet of home run hitters here that Martinez will have to face. Tough 52, and Sosa strikes out. Out number 1 here. Sosa 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts so far. And Mike Schmidt, who hit that solo home run last inning. Tough 58. That's going to be another strikeout. Back-to-back strikeouts here for Pedro here in the third inning. Arky Vaughan. Vaughan does not strike out very often. But he does here. 9. That's another strikeout. And Martinez with 3 straight strikeouts gets through the third and puts up a 0 for the National League, giving the American League a shot here in the bottom of the third. And with Koufax done, next pitcher will be Juan Marichal, who actually has the best ERA this year of any pitcher. It's like 1.21 or something like that. He's been amazing so far through the first half of the season. He will be facing really the heart of the American League order here in George Brett, Dick Allen, and Lou Gehrig. Tough out. That's a good one to start with. And 82. Brett will fly out here to Charleston. Easy fly ball here. And we have 1 down. Dick Allen walked in his first at bat. There's another patient 58. This time, Allen, ahead in the count, drills one into the gap. Not really too close of a play at second, and Allen slides in with a double here in the third inning. So, American League threatening here with a man in scoring position, and Lou Gehrig steps in. In play, 42. That's not going to be low enough. Gehrig pops this one up. Just foul, and Schmidt's under it for out number 2. Ted Williams. Williams also walked in his last at bat. In play, 44. And that is another pop-up as Marichal gets him to pop up on the infield as well. Jackie Robinson under it for out number 3. So they threaten a little bit, but not able to get anything else done. And we head to the 4th inning. National League All-Stars up 2-1. Pedro pitched a great third inning, but they're going to continue this run, and let's see who's coming up. A righty, and then a switch. Righty switch. Well, I think we are going to go with Gaylord Perry. Gaylord Perry is going to come in to pitch for the American League. And he will face the bottom of the order here, starting with Jackie Robinson. Tough 10, and he strikes him out. That's the 4th straight strikeout for the National League. Four straight hitters. Already have 8 strikeouts this game. Buster Posey. Posey had that 2-out single in the 2nd. In play 18, and he's going to have another one here. Only 1 out this time, but that's another base hit for Posey. Posey 2 for 2 so far. And that will bring up Tim Raines. Tough 85. It's a grounder to second. Raines doesn't hit into too many double plays, and they'll get the out at second base, but Raines too quick down the line. They can't turn 2 here. And Raines isn't going to try to get a jump, believe it or not. That brings up Charleston with 2 outs. Tough 47. And Charleston once again with a base hit. That's his 3rd single of the game. And we already mentioned, oh no, that's Raines now on second. I believe with 2 out, he's going to get to third. First and third, single to center, 2 out, 7 or above, and he will. Raines to third base on the base hit. And we have runners on the corners now. Charleston may attempt to steal, and he probably will, actually. 5. Actually, no. With Bagwell up, they're going to let Bagwell try to do something here. In play 99, and that's not going to do anything as Bagwell lifts that one to left. Williams over there and under it for out number 3. So once again, National League gets some runners in scoring position, but can't get anything done against Gaylord Perry. So in the 4th inning, the National League will turn to Steve Carlton. Steve Carlton. Carlton, of course, with the amazing season, 27-10 in 1972, with a 1.97 ERA. And Carlton will face Cochran, Boudreaux, and Nellie Fox here in the 4th inning. Lefty on lefty action here against Cochran. Patient 44. And Cochran draws a leadoff walk here to start the 4th. Cochran walked in both at bats so far, or both plate appearances, I should say. He's not going anywhere. Lou Boudreaux will step in. And that's another patient. That's another walk. Back-to-back walks to lead off the 4th here for the American League. And they're trying to get something going here. Nellie Fox, another lefty, facing off against Carlton. And he'll sack bunt on a 2-4 or an 11, by the way, or try to. No, that's another patient. That is another patient. We've hit the 6 3 straight times here. And 50 is going to be a base hit to left. Everybody's going to hold. Everybody is going to hold. And Carlton in some trouble here as Ichiro Suzuki steps in. Great contact hitter. Bases loaded. Nobody out. Infield will be playing in. In play, 34, and that's going to be another base hit, this time to right. this time to right. Boudreau's on second. 7. So let's see. Single, second home, right in play 7 or above. So that's going to score him. First to third, in play 7 or above. Fox is going to hold it second. So Ichiro with a 2-run single here. And that puts the American League ahead 3-2. Fox holds up at second base. And Carlton really struggling here in the 4th inning. He will face Lofton for another lefty on lefty. And finally, oh boy, Ballpark, Wheelhouse, 92. Way too high, though. That is a grounder to second. It's not going to be a double play, but it is going to be a fielder's choice. So 4-6, fielder's choice. Fox will move up to third on that. They're not able to turn 2. Lofton easily beats the relay throw. And George Brett with runners on the corners and 1 down. Another lefty on lefty here. Carlton trying to get out of this inning. 8, tough 82. His first tough result, I believe. And that's a fly out to center. Fox with the -2 is going to hold. Fairly shallow fly ball here. So George Brett hitting .415 or so on the first half of the season. He's 0 for 3 in today's game. Dick Allen steps in. Runners on the corners and 2 down. Carlton trying to get out of this. In play, 35, and he will, as Allen doesn't have much in play range on a left-handed pitchers. He pops this one up on the infield, and Vaughn will be under it for out number 3, but not before the American League gets a couple of runs. Could have been a lot worse for Carlton here, but he is able to get out of the inning, only allowing 2 runs. Those walks are killing the National League so far. All right, we are in the top of the 5th. And Gaylord Perry is going to come out. And in will come probably Don Sutton. Oops. Oops, wrong way. Wrong way. I was looking at the National League. Blyleven, Perry, Martinez, Sabathia, Cott. Okay. We'll go with Jim Cott. Jim Cott coming in here to pitch for the American League. And he will face Stargell, Sosa, and Schmidt. Got to run the gauntlet again. 3 big power hitters. And he deals to Stargell. Patient 59. And that's going to be a base hit. Stargell with a base hit here. Behind in the count. Or excuse me, ahead in the count. And drills a single. Leadoff single here. National League going to threaten here. Hopefully in the 5th inning. They hope so at least. Sammy Sosa could put them ahead with 1 swing. 8 in play, 63. And that's a grounder to second. 8 is going to be too high for a double play. Cott does induce a lot of double plays, but Sosa isn't going to be one of them here. Instead, they're not able to turn 2, but they get the lead runner at second. As Fox flips to Boudreau there at second base. That brings up Mike Schmidt. 4, defense. Shortstop error check. This is Boudreau. 1-49 is an error, and it is going to be an error. That's his 2nd error of the game for Boudreau. 2nd error of the game. That puts runners on first and second with just 1 out. Lefty on lefty. Arky Vaughn facing off against Jim Cott. In play, 69. That's another grounder, this time to short. And 5 is going to be a double play ball. 6 to 4 to 3. Boudreaux to Fox to Allen to end the inning here. So, National League threatens a little bit, but not able to take advantage of that error again. We head to the bottom of the 5th. American League still on top 3 to 2. And now Don Sutton will come in. Don Sutton will come in to face Gehrig, Williams, and Cochran. You know, it's 3 lefties, though. I mean, I think it's not going to matter. Let's bring in Kuzman just because it's lefties. So Jerry Kuzman's going to come in to pitch, actually. Kuzman, not a Hall of Famer, but he's pitched pretty well for the Chicago Docs this year. All right, let's see how he does here against Gehrig. Tough 12, and he strikes him out. Gehrig down on strikes. He is 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts here. Likely to be his last at-bat. Ted Williams. 6, that's another tough. Tough 61, though. And that is a grounder to third. Schmidt over to Bagwell for out number 2. Kuzman, so far, doing pretty well here, and he'll face Cochran. That is another tough. Tough 52. And a 1-2-3 inning here, as that's another grounder to third. Schmidt over to Bagwell. 1-2-3 inning here for Kuzman against the American League here in the bottom of the 5th. We head to the top of the 6th. AL All-Stars up 3 to 2 still. And now for the American League, I believe, CC. CC Sabathia will be the pitcher. He will face Robinson, Posey, and then the top of the order for the National League. CC recently joined the league after being inducted in the Hall of Fame in real life. Has already made an impact. Tough 36. And Robinson fights that one off, behind in the count, for a base hit, a leadoff single here in the 6th inning for Robinson. He will attempt to get a jump, maybe. Steal of 4, jump of 4, excuse me. 4-7-62. 4-7-62. He will not. He holds. All right. Brings up Buster Posey. Tough 93. And that is a fly out to left. Williams under it. For out number 1. And that gets us back to the top of the order. Tim Raines. But I believe they're going to go with a pinch hitter here. We're going to start swapping some players out. Ralph Kiner. And for the most part, I'm just going to pinch hit with the same position, if that makes sense. Since in the All-Star game, these guys are all going to be coming in anyway. So, we're going to, excuse me. We're going to pinch hit here for Kiner, or with Kiner. And there we go. Ralph Kiner. All right, runner on first. Robinson's on first, 1 out. Sabathia will deal to Kiner. It's in play 65. And that's a grounder to second, and going to be a double play to end the inning here. Fox to Boudreaux to Allen. 4-6-3, and the inning is over. Just like that. So, defense, we have Kiner coming in for Rains. And I believe, yeah, we got to do this too. So Kiner in for Rains. I usually do this, even though I believe it'll just do it anyway. Whoop. Okay. So, bottom of the 6th. And we're also going to start pinch hitting here for the American League. So, first of all, new pitcher. New pitcher. So, this is where Don Sutton comes in. Don Sutton will face the bottom of the lineup. All right. And Boudreaux, Alex Rodriguez will pinch hit. Alex Rodriguez will pinch hit here for Boudreaux. He's going to get a little crazy up here. All right, Alex Rodriguez is pinch hitting for Boudreaux against Don Sutton. 9, ballpark. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Wheelhouse. That is out of here. Long gone. Alex Rodriguez with a pinch hit home run to lead off the 6th inning and give the AL All-Stars a little bit of breathing room. 4-2 now. Rodriguez comes in and immediately makes an impact. Sutton wishes he had that pitch back. Doesn't have a wheelhouse on his entire card, but that ballpark did hurt him there. Now we have Nellie Fox, who will pinch hit for with Eddie Collins. So Eddie Collins is going to pinch hit. So Don Sutton's going to face another lefty here. In play, 25, and that's another base hit. Collins with another base hit here. So Sutton struggling a little bit here in the 6th inning. Collins will stay put. Brings up Ichiro. And who is the backup right fielder? Harold Baines. I think Ichiro is going to hit. I'm going to just let Ichiro hit here. Tough 32. Tough 32. And another base hit. This time it's going to be a base hit to left. The tough means Collins' run is going to drop to a 4. So he's going to stay on second. And we have back-to-back hits here. Sutton just trying to get an out. That does get us back to the top of the lineup. Kenny Lofton, normally. But they will swap Kenny Lofton out for Joe DiMaggio. Joe D. Oops. So DiMaggio is going to pinch hit here. Sutton better start getting some outs, buddy. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. That's another ballpark. 18, 49, and that is another home run. This time a 3-run shot. And just like that, the American League is up 7-2. Sutton was hoping just to get one out. It's not happening. George Brett is going to be allowed to hit. Try to get a hit in this All-Star game. But the game is getting way out of hand here. Tough 37. Finally, Sutton's going to get an out, as that's a pop-up to first. Bagwell under it for out number 1. Dick Allen. We'll bring in Frank Thomas to pinch hit here, as the American League just going with all of the reserves. So Sutton will deal against Frank Thomas. Tough 88. Okay, that's another out. This time a grounder to short. Vaughn over to Bagwell for out number 2. That brings up Lou Gehrig. Lou Gehrig, and DHing the backup DH would be Ty Cobb. You might as well just swap them all out. Because they probably at this rate won't bat in the bottom of the 9th. So Ty Cobb coming in to pinch hit for Gehrig. Gehrig leaves the game 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts. Sutton's left in there, even though he allowed 2 homers. Patient 43, and Cobb draws a walk, a 2-out walk here in the 6th. 2-out walk in the 6th here for Cobb. And Ted Williams. Well, you got to go with Babe Ruth. Babe Ruth coming in off the bench to pinch hit for Williams. Oh, Sutton. 2 outs, but a runner on first. I believe we got to pull you out of this game. Koufax, Marichal, Carlton, Kuzman, Sutton, William Bell. William Bell, a Negro League guy. He's going to be brought in to pitch here against Babe Ruth. What an opening here for Bell. As American League has kind of run away with things with 4 runs in the 6th inning here. Bell trying to salvage this, get out of this inning. Tough 81, and he will. As Ruth flies out to center, Charleston under it, and that's out number 3. So, we had a lot of pinch hitters. We had Ruth coming in for Williams. We had DiMaggio coming in for Kenny Lofton. Ichiro stayed. We had I got to remember them all. I mean, I can look back too. Cobb came in for Gehrig, but that's a DH. Ruth. Alex Rodriguez came in for Boudreaux. Eddie Collins came in for Nellie Fox. I believe that is... Frank Thomas came in for Dick Allen. Is that it? I believe that is it. So let's go back here, and we got to take a second to switch all of these out. DiMaggio will be the new center fielder. Frank Thomas will be the new first baseman. Ty Cobb will be the new DH. Probably doesn't really matter too much. Ruth will be the new left fielder. Rodriguez will be the new shortstop. Almost everybody's switching out here. Collins will be the new second baseman. And I think we are ready now to that's going to switch all those. Yeah. We just toggle all the new batter markers when we get there. We'll be fine. We will be fine. There we go. All right. So with all that said, we are in the top of the 7th. And we had all of those pitch. So now we're maybe to Satchel Paige. I believe Satchel Paige will pitch the 7th inning. All right, lots of switching here because of the All-Star game. Satchel Paige going to come in to pitch. And most likely going to be all pinch hitters here, or most of them here in the 7th. Because otherwise they might not get a chance to bat. Starting with the center fielder. Turkey Stearns is going to come in to pinch hit for Charleston, who's 3 for 3, by the way. 3 for 3. And bringing a pinch hitter here, Turkey Stearns. There we go. All right. So Turkey Stearns facing off against Satchel Paige, a couple of Negro League guys. And in play 0-2, and he's going to get a leadoff double here for the 7th inning. A good start here for Stearns. And Bagwell. Actually, Todd Helton's going to pinch hit for Bagwell. Todd Helton is going to pinch hit for Bagwell. So, by the way, Stearns not going anywhere on that 9. So, in play 37, it's a little too high for Helton's range, and he pops this one up to second. Collins under it for out number 1. So, we are to Stargell. Barry Bonds coming in to pinch hit for Stargell. As I said, if I don't pinch hit now, there's a chance that none of these guys will hit. So we might as well just swap everybody out so that everybody gets a shot at hitting. Barry Bonds facing off against Satchel Paige. Patient 94. Wow. Bonds has a huge patient range, but not that high. And Bonds is going to lift that one to right. Suzuki under it for out number 2. And Stearns not going to test Ichiro's arm. Sosa. Tony Gwynn will come in to pinch hit for Sosa. Tony Gwynn. All right. Tony Gwynn's going to face off against Satchel Paige here. In play 20. That's going to be a base hit. That is a single to right with 2 outs. Stearns with a lot of speed, and that's going to score another run here for the NL All-Stars. That cuts the lead to 7-3. A little bit of life there. A little bit of life left. Gwynn's not going to attempt to steal. And Mike Schmidt, who had the home run earlier, Albert Pujols actually is going to come in to pinch hit for him. Albert Pujols is going to pinch hit for Schmidt. There we go. And facing off against Page here. That's another in play. In play 65, that's too high. Another fly out to right. That'll end the inning. Suzuki hauls it in. But not before the NL All-Stars get a run back. All right. So, let's see what we need to do here. Stearns, Helton, Bonds. So, Stearns. Yep, Stearns. Helton in for Bagwell. Bonds, I believe, was the DH. Yes, DH. Gwynn in for Sosa. That may have been it. We already had Kiner in. Pujols in for Schmidt. Pujols in for Schmidt. I think that was it so far. Oh, yeah. I'm going to try the other method and see if I just leave them as the pinch hitters, if that's going to be fine later on. So we got to toggle all of these new hitter markers. I will just do that while I'm in here. Yeah, I think I should have just left them and not put them in as the positions in the lineup. I should have just left them after the pinch hitting, because the defense would have just done all this for me anyway. All right. With all that said, we had William Bell. He only pitched to one batter, and it's the 7th inning. But that's fine. We're going to go to Kent Tekulve here. I'm just going to go right down the list. And so Kent Tekulve is going to pitch against, well, Cochran's going to come out. So Tekulve, there you are. Kent Tekulve, if you've never seen him pitch, you got to check it out. Big submarine guy. And Cochran is going to come out for Josh Gibson. Josh Gibson pinch hitting here for Cochran. All right, Tekulve dishing to Gibson here in the 7th, the bottom of the 7th. AL All-Stars still up 7-3. 5, tough 37, and wow. Oh no, tough, you have to add 10. So tough 47. Still a base hit. Leadoff single to Gibson here in the 7th inning. And we are to Collins. Oops, there we go. Collins, who had, Alex Rodriguez. Alex Rodriguez. He had that leadoff homer in the last inning. And he will face off against Tekulve here with a runner on first. Tough 34. It's going to be a 44. It's not going to matter. That's still a strikeout. Blows it by him. Rodriguez down on strikes here for out number 1. Now we have Collins. Eddie Collins facing off against Tekulve. Another tough 66. You have to add 10. Tough 66 becomes a ground out to short, and that is going to be a double play ball. 6-4-3. Just like that, they're out of the inning. So Vaughn to Robinson to Helton. And we had another pinch hitter here, who was Josh Gibson. So Josh Gibson comes in for Cochran to catch. And we are to Arky Vaughn in the lineup. First, we got to bring in a new pitcher. New American League pitcher. So we had Satchel Paige. We have Henke, Mariano Rivera, Raleigh Fingers. I think we got to go with Henke. And let's see here. Tom Henke into pitch for the American League. National League's going to have a tough spot against all of these closers, effectively closers. And in will come Dave Bancroft. Bancroft will come in here to hit. Pinch hitting for Arky Vaughn. Vaughn 0 for 3 today. He struck out and grounded into a double play. All right, Dave Bancroft. As the bench gets even thinner here, Bancroft stepping against Henke. That's a tough 17, and it's going to be a strikeout. That is a strikeout. Great start to the inning here in the 8th. Jackie Robinson will be replaced by Rogers Hornsby. So another pinch hitter here. And Hornsby will face Henke. That's another tough 68. And that's a ground out to second. Easy ground out. 2 up, 2 down here in the 8th. And with that, I believe Henke is going to be replaced. We will go over to Mariano Rivera. So Rivera will come in to pitch. One of the last 2 pitchers here for the American League. All right, Rivera will not face Buster Posey because Mike Piazza will come in here to pitch, or to hit, excuse me. Pinch hit Piazza. All right, 2 down, nobody on. Tough 82, and that's going to be 3 down. As Piazza grounds this one to short. Rodriguez over to Thomas. 3 up, 3 down here in the 8th inning for the National League. And we go to defense again. And Piazza's going to be behind the plate. And Jackie Robinson, Rogers Hornsby, and Arky Vaughn was Dave Bancroft. Vaughn was Bancroft. Yep. So we have the full new defense in. And other than, let's see, who's going to pitch here in the 8th, excuse me. Bottom of the 8th. Lee Smith. All right, Lee Smith coming in here. And Lee Smith, Ichiro's finally coming out of the game. Harold Baines going to be hitting. Likely only going to get 1 shot here. All right, Harold Baines facing off against Lee Smith here in the bottom of the 8th. Tough 37. And Baines drawing the base hit here in the 8th inning. Leadoff single. Leadoff single. Joe DiMaggio will be batting. He had come in to pinch hit and had that big 3-run homer in the 6th inning against Don Sutton. Smith hopes to avoid a replay of that. Tough 86. And that is going to be a easy double play ball. Bancroft to Hornsby to Helton. And just like that, we have 2 down here in the 8th. Just what they needed. And with that, they will switch to Bruce Sutter. Otherwise, Sutter is not going to get a play here. So Lee Smith comes out. Bruce Sutter comes in. And in comes the last bench player for the American League, Paul Molitor. All right. Bruce Sutter facing off against Paul Molitor. 2 outs, nobody on. Tough 3, and he strikes him out. So, likely the last bat for the American League. Molitor will be staying in to play third. And Harold Baines coming in for Ichiro in right. Yes. All right. So here we are in the 9th inning. And it's going to be Kiner, Stearns, and Helton here in the 9th for the last shot for the National League, down 7-3. And they will be facing against Raleigh Fingers. Raleigh Fingers, the last pitcher on the roster here. Last player on the roster, actually. Actually. They'll leave Rivera in to pitch to 1 batter, just in case. So Rivera will face Kiner, and then they'll switch. You never know. It could be a save opportunity here. Tough 98. That's not going to be a save opportunity. That's going to be a fly out. Kiner, the easy fly ball to Babe Ruth in left for out number 1. And now they are going to turn things over to Raleigh Fingers. So Raleigh Fingers will face Stearns. Turkey Stearns and Todd Helton at least. Tough 95. That is a fly out to right. Baines under it for out number 2. National League going down quietly here in the 9th. Last chance, Todd Helton. Fans are on their feet here in Tiger Stadium. Tough 62, and that's going to be the end of the game as Helton lifts this one to left. Ruth ranges a little bit to his right, catches it on the run, and that is the 3rd out. So, just like that, the AL All-Stars win their 2nd All-Star game. This one's 7-3 in what looked like a close game until Don Sutton. Poor Don Sutton. Don Sutton, who allowed it was 3-2 actually at that point. And Sutton allowed that leadoff homer to Boudreaux. And a few batters later, a 3-run homer to Joe DiMaggio to put this game well out of reach. The NL comes back with 1 run in the 7th, but that was not enough. Not enough So if we look at the player of the game, I mean, Ichiro was 2 for 3 and drove in the go-ahead run here in the 4th. You know, that's not too exciting. You might want to give it to Joe DiMaggio, who hit the 3-run homer. Of course, he did ground into a double play his next at bat. You know, Ichiro also grounded into a double play. Or Boudreaux didn't have that leadoff homer. Yeah. Alex Rodriguez had that leadoff homer in the 6th. Yeah, I don't know. I think I might give it to Ichiro just because he had the go-ahead. And he was 2 for 3, even though he did ground into a double play also. So yeah, I don't know. That was the go-ahead. Or you might give it to the pitching. You know, the American League pitching held this National League team to just 3 runs. They had shots, but they just couldn't get it done. In fact, they didn't get a hit in the last 2 innings. Lots of strikeouts early on. Lots of strikeouts early on. So, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Gaylord Perry actually is in line for the win. Yeah, Gaylord Perry gets the win because he was pitching in that 4th inning when he turned it over, and they took the lead. So Perry gets the win. The loss goes to Carlton. So the win goes to Gaylord Perry. The loss goes to Carlton, who had the rough start here in the 4th inning. Look at this, back-to-back walks. The walks really is what really hurt the National League. Koufax with 3 walks in the 1st, uncharacteristic, allowed them to score their 1st run. And a couple walks here in the 4th opened up that inning for the AL to score a couple runs there, which put them ahead. So, yeah. Now, you know what? I still am going to give it to Joe DiMaggio just because Chickstig the long ball. 3-run homer was exciting. It was deep and out of here. Got the crowd going and really put the nail in the coffin for the National League. So, yeah, that's who I'm going to go for the player of the game. Even though we had some great pitching performances as well. Great pitching performances. So there you have it. The American League takes this one 7-3. National League 3 runs on 12 hits and no errors. American League 7 runs on just 10 hits. Those walks really hurt. 2 errors didn't hurt him at all. 2 errors both by Boudreaux. And so the American League wins this one in front of the home crowd, if you will, at Tiger Stadium. Very exciting stuff. Hopefully you enjoyed that. Of course, with the All-Star game, there's a lot of switches and stuff, so it's a little bit slower of a game than normally, just because there's all of those changes that take place. But hopefully you still enjoyed that. Let me know what you think down below. If you would go with somebody else for player of the game, I'd love to hear it. Leave that in the comments. But this marks the halfway point for my Payoff Pitch season 1 or season 2, excuse me. Give you a little bit of a view of a blurry view, a little bit of a view of Tiger Stadium there. And keep on watching the channel. Consider subscribing if you don't want to miss any more action. My other project is a best of the 90s tournament right now using Season Ticket Baseball. But appreciate everything, appreciate the support, and until next time, have a great evening.